Here we go again. Ooh, this is risky. What did I do? Please don't rip through. Oh no! I can't believe it. I've been challenged. Alright, here it is. I challenge you to make a holster for a Leatherman using only a Leatherman. Can it be done? Honestly, I'm not sure. About a year ago, we did a video collaboration with Blade HQ, and they gave us a couple of these Leatherman free P2s. I love this one because you can do it one-handed. Like if you're working on a project up here holding something, you gotta draw your Leatherman out, pop it open one-handed, get the job done. This knife should be okay. Got a flathead and a Phillips. These might come in handy. Could probably use this file on the edges before I burnish. Ooh, I'll probably have to use that ruler. The part I'm really worried about with this project is the stitching. Got this all right here. It's got an eye for the thread to go through, and this can act as a stitching awl. It gets pretty wide right here by the hole. I'm gonna have to punch this thing all the way through the leather past that hole to bring the thread through, loop it, and pull it back. So it's gonna be punching some pretty big holes right there. I honestly don't know how this is gonna turn out. This whole video might be a flop. This is about 5 to 6 ounces, I believe. 6 ounces. This is a holster strap side from ALD Leather. But first things first, we need a pattern. When I first saw this challenge, my mind went straight to making one of these types of sheaths. But that's a lot of stitching. So I'm gonna do a much simpler version of a sheath. All right, where's my poster board? I had to make a couple versions of this pattern just to get the size and the shape right. But once I started cutting with the knife, I was very pleasantly surprised. The knife was the best part of this whole project. It was sharp, it made the cuts easy. At this point, I was like, oh, we got this. The knife wouldn't be perfectly ergonomical for everyday leathercraft use, but it got the job done. And pretty easily, I might add. A little nervous to stitch this part because that's a pretty small stitch, or it should be. And this thing pokes some big holes, so I'm gonna practice on some scraps and make sure I can get it right. This is the part I was a little worried about. Have you ever used one of those easy stitchers? I figured it would be similar to stitching with one of those using the same loop lock stitch. I punched the holes about 3/8 of an inch apart, and that seemed to do a pretty decent job as long as I put the holes on an angle. Oh man, that's not pretty, but at least it's a stitch. Here we go. Usually you don't want to do a stitch that would just be straight across, because when you're punching holes in leather, you're basically perforating it like a page in a notebook. So if I had the right tools and I could do a more precise stitch, I would put it right along the bottom round edge, and I wouldn't go across. But I don't really have that freedom because these holes are massive. I'm just gonna have to do whatever I can to get the thread to hold onto this leather. I don't know. I had some 0.04 inch wax polycord from Main Thread laying around. It's really heavy duty and the wax will help seal up an otherwise pretty crappy stitch. I start by pushing the thread through the first hole. Then I push it through the second hole and back out just a little bit till you get a nice loop. Then you feed the thread through the loop and pull the awl back out. However, I realized one mistake I kept making was feeding the thread through the wrong side of the awl. What? Which causes the awl to be on the wrong side of the stitch. When you back it out, you just get stuck. What am I doing? Alright, here we go again. There we go. I ended up doing this a few times throughout the project and never totally figured it out. Not too bad. How do I finish it? Maybe I could tie the knot inside of there. Ooh, this is risky. Maybe just shove it through. Am I making this harder on myself? If only I had some needle nose pliers. Ayo! There we go. Woo yeah. We're in business now, folks. After I tied the knot, I applied a little bit of water-based contact adhesive. I guess if I was in the bush, I'd find some pine sap or something sticky. You could probably do it without the adhesive, but I wouldn't want to. It'd be rough. I figured I'd get a rough stitch line marked just by freehanding it, but then I realized the can opener tool was the perfect edge groover. I figured out pretty quick that I couldn't punch the holes too close together because the holes would just kind of mesh together and become one big giant hole. After stropping it a bit, I took the awl tool and punched the holes all the way through before I started stitching. Almost done. Oh, come on. Oh, back it off. Why is the hole so far down there? Come on now. Oh, that looks bad. Why is that stitch so far up there? Oh, jeez. It is what it is. Oh, we're cooking now. We are cooking. Did it backwards again. Uh-oh. Oh, this awl's got a sharp side. Come on, just stop. I kept muddling my way through the stitch till I got to the end, where I ended up pushing the thread between the 2 layers of leather so I could hide the knot. Then I snipped and burnt the ends to keep them from unraveling, and that was it for the stitching. Yeah! I was going to wet mold this, but I don't think we need to. Let's clean up this edge a little bit. Oh no! I just cut right into a piece I didn't want to. Oh well, we're in the bush, right? Let's see, what can I burnish with? Ooh, that's nice and smooth. Oh man, I really didn't think it was gonna work, but we got a functional leather sheath for a Leatherman free P2. And it's ugly, but if I was stranded out in the bush and this is all I had, I'd be pretty happy with it. This video's not sponsored or anything, but Leatherman, you did good. You make a good tool. Now I need to go make a real sheath for this thing. And hey, click this video right here and go watch the video I made called 5 leather workers that you should watch out for. It's a rough group. You don't want to get mixed up with these people. Just kidding, they're amazing, obviously. Go watch it. All right, bye.